So, right, so first and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakakodash. We say double unto Apostle and elders of great Muslim and Rubel, our teachers, our apostles in truth, and we see salutations, so the Akamas, the push with no truth and sincerity, day in and day out, and constantly in season or season to say Shalom. Once again, going into our video here, and let's basically touching upon some news. Now, this news I want to touch upon here is literally a man, losing his life for a woman. The usual as it's through a time, that one of the main things men lose their life for outside here, which is for a woman, and with that being that of a wicked woman as well, because this scenario, just like many scenarios, that happened before. I think if I can recall, I remember doing a video maybe some months ago, right, where a similar situation like this happened, where a man went looking for his woman, right? His woman was with another man, and that same guy who the woman with, actually, end up ending the life of the other man, right? So let me just read this article here. It's a fight over woman ends in stab and death of Canopia security officer in Princess Town. Suspect held with knife. A confrontation involving a woman ended in bloodshed on Sunday, July 5th afternoon, after a 39-year-old security officer was stabbed to death during a violent altercation in Princess Town. Dead is Stefan Jack of Extension 3, Lalo Trace, Chinchin, Canopia. According to police, shortly after 3:20 p.m., Jack drove to Charlotte Street, Princess Town, where he parked his silver Nissan 80 wagon and began asking a resident about a woman who lived in the area. They say while speaking with the resident, Jack reportedly spotted the woman walking out of Charlotte Street accompanied by another man. He approached the pair, sparking an argument. So more than likely, when he heard that piece, he could see that he was dealing with a woman that, if he knew she was there, is a situation that happened before, or maybe an ongoing situation, and that is the reason why when them can't happen, just leave, just leave, right? Let me read the scripture here. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 26. It says, "And I find more better than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands as bands. Whoso pleaseth God shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her." Yeah, and what? The sinner shall be taken by her. But it, as the piece now said, whoso pleaseth God shall escape from her. And that is the thing. A man of the Lord, hey, any little situations that even it reaching any close to where she going by another man, a matter of fact, a man of the Lord wouldn't even have a woman like that around him, right? Because again, we know the scriptures, right? And we know the truth. Now let me read that same verse, and let me go to let me just read it in a different Bible. Let me read it in the NLT. So the NLT, I discovered that a seductive woman is a trap more better than death. Her passion is a snare, and her soft hands are chains. It said, those who are pleasing to God will escape her, but sinners will be caught in her snare. Right? So a sinner will be caught in her snare. And this is an example here. Right? So what we find? You find more better than death, well, woman. Right? Now let me jump to another scripture here, and let me go to the book of Sirach. And let me go to Sirach chapter 25, and let me read from verse 23. It says, "A wicked woman abated the courage, make it an heavy countenance, and a wounded heart." It says, "A woman that will not comfort her husband in distress, make it weak hands and feeble knees." It says, "Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die." So when it goes to show how serious it is when it comes to these women, right? What is things that make the thing that make kings fall, right? And it goes to show, even at this time, what's this particular situation? I will tell you, a wicked woman abated the courage, make it an heavy countenance, and a wounded heart. A wounded heart, he killed by somebody else, and he on the move, he looking, confrontation happen, and he loses life. You know, it's crazy thing about it. He lost his life. The other man most likely going to jail for life. And that same woman, what is she going to do? She's going straight on another road. Right? It say, while speaking with the resident, Jack reportedly spotted a woman walking out of Charlotte Street, accompanied by another man. He approached the pair, sparking an argument. Police said the man repeatedly told Jack to leave, but the dispute quickly escalated into a physical confrontation. Again, the man had wounded. He don't want to hear that talk about leave. You know? He said during the fight, Jack was stabbed multiple times in the abdomen, chest, thigh, and back. He said despite suffering serious injuries, he was rushed to the Princeton Health Facility where medical personnel made desperate efforts to save his life. However, he succumbed to his injuries and was pronounced dead at approximately 4:05 p.m. Police said the man and the woman left the scene immediately after the stabbing. A suspect from Charlotte Street, Princeton, was later arrested by officers of the Princeton police station at the corner of Water Lane and Sakai Street, Sakai Street. It said during a search, officers found a blood-soaked gray and black flick knife in the suspect's right front pocket, which investigators believe may have been used in the attack. Right? Just like that. Man lost it. Two of them basically lost their life. One, gone, and the other going straight to prison. Right? It say so it say verse 24, it say of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. It say give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to guard abroad. And that's something these men do. These men know the woman wicked, 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 and they will still make the woman do all this sort of bullshit. Right? Sometimes that's how they leave, bro. Just go. Right? It say if she go not as thou wouldest have her, cut her off from thy flesh. And Scripture's telling you what to do. If she do want to go the way you're going, right, just cut her off. Cut her off. Because this is the kind of situations that's happen. There were times where you heard certain cases where a man didn't even know. He I shouldn't say he didn't know, because men does know, right? But a man would have a wife and she would have somebody else in secret, and the man in secret would come and off the husband. That's the kind of thing that's happened. So if it ever reaches to that point, just cut her off. Don't even wait. That way it say give the water no passage. As a matter of fact, there's something here. One minute. Why are you doing that? Right. So even when you look up, there's the term give the water no passage. Just go back and say it means to establish strict boundaries, and deny an outlet to bad behavior. So one time, you're stopping, you're paying a stop to it. And what would make a pass stop to that is you have to be following the Lord. You have to be following the Lord. The scriptures mention a wicked woman is given unto a wicked man, and that is what you receive. But as it means to establish strict boundaries and deny an outlet to bad behavior, right? So you're stopping it one time. You're not even going to make it get any worse, So you're paying a stop to it. Because how he know, it just goes to show that how much passage he give that water then, is that he actually know which spot to go to find this woman, right? He actually know which spot to go and find this woman. So it goes to show this may be going on for a little while. As the scripture say, to cut you off, man. Right? It say, if she go not as thou wouldest have her, cut her off from thy flesh, and give her a bill of divorce, and let her go. Do what? Let her go. Yeah, son? Sometimes that's just a better thing to do. This face a little heartbreak, man. than he'd rather go into the situation, right? Let me go to the book of Sirach, chapter 26. It says, and I want to read from verse 1. It says, blessed is the man that had a virtuous wife, for the number of his days shall be what? Double. And when you look at the word virtuous, I just go and do a quick Google search, right? Virtuous. So when you look at the word virtuous, it says having or showing high moral standards. Right? Having or showing high moral standards. It refers to someone who is morally excellent, upright, and consistently does what is right. Right? So that would be a woman that would be what? She following the laws of the Lord. You understand? She following the laws, and listen to the things he's saying, and doing the things he's saying as well. That's why it says virtuous. It says having or showing high moral standards. But how much women also they have that? You know, it's very hard to find a virtuous woman. They say in the book of Proverbs says it's like what? Rubies. You know, much more precious than rubies. That's roughly paraphrasing, right? What I wanted to do, virtuous meaning, right, in the Bible. So what I did was just look up virtuous meaning in the Bible, right? So this is on Google as well. It says in the Bible, being virtuous means having moral excellence, integrity, and righteousness grounded in God's will. So it will be a woman that following the Lord, right? So going back to verse 26, it says, blessed is the man that had a virtuous wife, for the number of his days shall be what? Double. Right? A woman that doing the right thing, right? Following the Lord and listening to the things he's saying. It says, a virtuous woman rejoiceth her husband, and he shall fulfill the years of his life in peace. And again, it goes to show that a lot of these women, they ain't virtuous at all. Right? I wanted to do verse 7. It says a drunken woman, sorry, not a drunken, it says verse 7, it says an evil wife is a yoke shaken to and fro. He that had hold of her is as though he held a scorpion. Dangerous, something dangerous. You understand? The way scripture mentions, just to let her go. You know, you don't want to end up like this, right? I thought she wickedness of a woman. You know, she would just like that. You die, you know, and she left with the same man who murdered her. Right? That's what the scriptures mention. Surah 25, verse 20, verse 19. It say all wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Yeah, all the wickedness is just little wickedness to a woman, man. It's small. It say let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. Right? So yeah. And that's the thing. You're dealing with a wicked woman, this is where it is get. Right? You know, a lot like it have so much cases that's similar to this that's usually come out every week, every other month or something like that. This is not the first case that happened in that particular area, right? Or here, you know, and this happened all around the world as well. You know, these women out of order, right? And when they're out of order, just let them go. You don't want to end up like this. Right, so with that, once again, I give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yehoshai, Ba'ashem Rekakadash. We say, Double and Apostle, and a great Muslim Ruba, our teachers, our apostles in truth. And we say salutations, so Akim, so the push with an truth and sincerity, day in and day out, and constantly in season, as season we say, Shalom.